Hello, bankers. A very good evening to all of you. Welcome back. In this session, again, we are going to practice number of question based on Indian economy and Indian financial system from the all the four module, right? I hope you guys are doing well. सब कुछ बढ़िया चल रहा होगा, ठीक है? एंड आशा करते हैं आप सभी लोग काफ़ी अच्छे होंगे और आपका प्रिपरेशन काफ़ी अच्छे चल रहा होगा. बहुत कम दिन आपकी एग्जामिनेशन में बचे हुए हैं. सो नाउ लाइक जितना ज़्यादा प्रैक्टिस कर सकते हैं उतना ज़्यादा हेल्पफुल होगा. एंड बिफोर डूइंग प्रैक्टिस ऑल्सो फॉलो आर कॉन्सेप्ट क्लासेस. सो मॉड्यूल ए एंड बी and D compilation is already there. Sorry, C. D we will release soon, right? तो जल्दी से इनको आपका जरूर देख लें, ठीक है? और अगर कोई हेल्प चाहिए होती है तो उसके लिए भी आप कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं, राइट? So now guys, again we will start our today's practice with the help of questions. So without any further delay, we will start the discussion. So the very first question for the session is, question is you have to match the following, right? So you have to correctly match and these are your four options, ठीक है? तो match वाले हमने बहुत सारे options question इससे पहले भी आपका किए हुए हैं, ठीक है? So first one is open market operation, which is buying and selling of government securities through RBI. That process is generally known as OMO or open market operation, right? Then reserve requirement. Every bank in India, they have to maintain certain reserve with RBI, like a CRR and SLR, right? Then we have discount rate and we have quantitative easing. Quantitative easing is to increase the money flow in the economy by the central bank, right? So discount rate आपका अगर हम इसकी बात करते हैं, ठीक है? So एक बार इन सबको देख लेते हैं आपका, ठीक है? So again we'll solve with the help of two option first, ठीक है? So open market एक एक करके इनको जाते हैं, ठीक है? So bank are required to hold a certain percentage of their deposit as cash. So that is generally known as CRR, which is part of your reserve requirement. That means for option 2 it will be option A आपका. Then interest rate at which central bank lend money to a commercial bank, which is known as repo rate. Central bank buying and selling government securities, it is known as open market operation. So that means for option 1 it will be C, ठीक है? So आपका C. And central bank introduce new money in the market, so it is quantitative easing, ठीक है? तो 4 का D आपका होगा. So that means 3 का आपका क्या हो जाएगा? आपका 10 will be the correct answer, ठीक है? सो एक का सी, दो का ए, एक का सी, दो का ए, ठीक है? 3 का बी एंड 4 का डी. सो व्हाट विल बी योर करेक्ट आंसर? Option 1 only will be right answer for this given question. Understood? Very basic one, right? Very common question. Next one. GDP, gross domestic product, is a measure of economic activity with a country. It is the total value of all goods and services produced over a specific time period within a country's border or geographical areas. So GDP can be calculated using different approaches, like we have income approach, we have expenditure, and we have production approach. GDP is useful for comparing the economic performances of different countries, measuring economic growth, and formulating economic policies among the others. The use of GDP where it's serve as a measure to compare the economic performances of different countries is known as, so इसको हम लोग क्या बोलेंगे? It is as simple as that. It is known as GDP comparison, right? So बहुत आसान है, ठीक है? So GDP comparison refer to the use of GDP as a measure to compare the economic performances of different economies or countries. GDP deflator, it is a measure of price inflation or deflation with respect to specific base year. Real GDP, which is also known as inflation adjusted GDP, that allow comparison of economic output from one year to another. जैसे इंडिया में आपका 2013-14 we use that base year, ठीक है? So GDP per capita, so it is individual, like per capita income is kind of average income of the citizen, right? So is a measure of the GDP per person in a country and is used for comparison comparing the economic performances of different countries on a per person basis. While this can be a way to compare countries, it's not the same as comparing through the GDP. ठीक है, so ये आपका जो चार different terminologies जो इससे related है. ठीक है, next one. Hers is a budding economist studying the concept of national income computation. He was given a data related to countries' GDP, net export, consumption, government spending, and investment. Which of the following formulas would be applied to calculate a gross domestic product? Okay. So based on expenditure method, as you can see, this data. In आपका in expenditure method, which is काइंड ऑफ कैसे हम इसको निकालेंगे, कंजम्पशन प्लस गवर्नमेंट स्पेंडिंग प्लस इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लस नेट एक्सपोर्ट आपका. ठीक है, सो नेट एक्सपोर्ट विच इज एक्सपोर्ट माइनस इम्पोर्ट. सो कंजम्पशन, गवर्नमेंट स्पेंडिंग, इन्वेस्टमेंट प्लस नेट एक्सपोर्ट. हाँ, सो ऑप्शन 2 विल बी राइट आंसर फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर वन. ठीक है, सो दिस इज अ वेरी सिंपल formula to calculate GDP by using expenditure method, right? So consumption, then government expenditures, then we have investment plus x minus m. X means export and m means import आपका. ठीक है, सो नेट एक्सपोर्ट जिसको हम लोग आपका कैलकुलेट करते हैं कि हमने यहाँ से कितना इंपोर्ट किया, एक्सपोर्ट किया और कितना आपका इंपोर्ट किया. ठीक है, वैसे ही हम लोग अगर इनकम मेथड यूज करते हैं, सो वी यूज NIA, नेट इनकम फ्रॉम अब्रॉड, सो विच इज आपका इंडियंस की इनकम फ्रॉम अब्रॉड एंड अब्रॉड पीपल्स और NRI's इनकम फ्रॉम इंडिया, राइट? सो दैट इज द वन. नेक्स्ट वन. The budget receipt can be broadly classified into revenue receipt and capital receipt. So we have two type of receipt in our budget. So revenue receipt, which is income generated by the government, it can be further categorized among two parts: taxable and non-taxable, right? Capital receipt include borrowings of the government. Revenue receipt include tax revenue like income tax, corporation tax, and non-tax revenue like interest receipt. We have dividends, profit, and all. While capital include borrowings, borrowings, disinvestment, and recovery of loans. The component of union budget receipt where the government earn from the disinvestment of its stake in public sector undertaking is known as, it is disinvestment only, right? तो हम इसको क्या बोलते हैं, आपका disinvestment. ठीक है, so option 4 will be right answer for this one. Disinvestment is like where government is selling their stake in the public sector undertakings. ठीक है, जैसे अलग अलग कंपनीज में आपका कई बार देखने के लिए मिलता है. ठीक है, नॉन टैक्स रेवेन्यू, income of the government from other than taxes, like जैसे grants and dividends and interest and others. Tax revenue, two type of taxes, direct and indirect, या GST. Borrowings आपका, it can be domestic as well as international, right? The Reserve Bank of India is the central bank of the country, responsible for issue and supply of Indian ROP and the regulation of the money market. It carries out these functions in accordance with the guidelines set forth by the RBI Act 1934 and BR Act 1949. RBI periodically issue guidelines to bank on various aspects like interest rate, reserve requirements, corporate governance, prudential norms, and disclosure requirement. The guidelines where the bank are required to keep a certain percentage of their NDTL, net demand and time liabilities, as cash with RBI is known as. तो क्या होता है आपका, there are two reserve, one is CRR. So this is the case of CRR. So where a certain portion of your NDTL you have to maintain with RBI in the form of cash, and RBI does not pay any interest on CRR. So it's a case of CRR. And another reserve is bank, they generally need to maintain a certain portion of their NDTL with itself. ठीक है, खुद के साथ उनको आपका मेंटेन करना होता है. ठीक है, in the form of cash, it can be in the form of cash, gold, and approved securities, which are generally government securities. So this is known as SLR, statutory liquidity ratio. Current SLR is 18% and current CRR is 4.50%, right? बहुत basic आपका है. ठीक है, next one. The Banking Regulation Act, which govern the operation of bank in India, was passed in the year, कौन से year में, 1949, right? And the amendments made in 1966, where the inclusion of cooperative banks happened, right? So extended its provision to the cooperative banks. So 1949, 1966, that means option C will be correct answer for this particular question. ठीक है? तो बहुत basic आपका Banking Regulation Act which govern the operation of bank. So 19 it was passed in 1949 and first amendment was 1966. So it got extended provisions for cooperative bank. BR Act was initially enacted in 1949. The Act provide a framework for supervision and regulation of banking companies by Reserve Bank of India. So Act later amended in 1966 to include cooperative banks under the preview, which was aimed at providing the same level of regulatory framework to cooperative bank as applied to the commercial bank as well, right? Next one. Which of the following statement is incorrect about the regulatory framework of MFIs, microfinance institutions in India? So you have to find out the incorrect statement. Okay? So Reserve Bank of India does not regulate MFI. This is incorrect here. Reserve Bank of India only regulate these particular institutions. Okay? NBFC's MFI is a type of MFI that is regulated by RBI. True. Microfinance, Micro Unit Development Refinance Agency Mudra was set up under the aegis of RBI to regulate and refinance all MFI. Wrong. It is आपका it is something. मुद्रा स्कीम किसके लिए होता है? जो स्टार्टअप्स या जो छोटे मोटे व्यवसाय हैं उनको लोन देने के लिए, एंड इट कम्स अंडर सिडबी. ठीक है, नॉट आरबीआई. ठीक है, ये किसके अंदर में काम करता है? सिडबी के अंदर में. ठीक है, एंड there are three loan categories: Shishu, Kishore, and Tarun. And one update from Union Budget. So earlier the maximum loan limit was 10 lakh. So now it has got extended for from 10 lakh to 20 lakh rupees. तो 20 लाख रुपए तक का लोन इसमें आपका छोटे व्यापारी ले सकते हैं. ठीक है. There are guidelines set by the RBI on the interest rate charged by MFI. This is also true. So we have to find out incorrect statements. So option 3 and option 1. Option 3 and option 1. So option 3 will be correct answer for this particular question. Right? आसान है. ठीक है. Next one. मुद्रा को एक बार पढ़ लेते हैं. सो मुद्रा वॉज सेटअप अंडर द एजेस ऑफ सिडबी, not by the RBI. Mudra does provide refining facility to MFI, but it does not regulate them, right? So this is the one. Next one. Which of the following statement correctly describe the operation of TLTRO or LTRO? ठीक है, long term repo operation or targeted long term repo operation. So this was get introduced during the COVID period here. So generally आपका RBI generally provide loan to banks, commercial bank at repo rate for long term. Long term means 1 year to 3 years. ठीक है, तो कहीं ना कहीं अगर बैंकों को लंबे समय के लिए लोन मिलेगा at lower rate of interest, so their MCLR will come down and they'll provide loan to customer at a lower rate of interest. तो कहीं ना कहीं आपका जो लैंडिंग में ईजी करने का जो मेजर आइडिया था कि जो कोविड के दौरान आपकी जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं उनको रिजॉल्व करने के लिए. ठीक है, सो LTRO, RBI lend money to commercial bank at a zero interest rate with no obligation for repayment. आपको क्या ढूंढना है? करेक्ट ढूंढना है. ठीक है, सो जीरो इंटरेस्ट नहीं, ऑन रेपो रेट. ठीक है, जो रेपो रेट था उस समय का उस पर. ठीक है, जैसे अगर आप इसके नाम पढ़ेंगे ना, सो इट इज ऑल्सो मेंशन TLTRO. ठीक है, targeted that time, target was COVID-19. ठीक है, long term means 1 to 3 years. ठीक है, and repo operation. ठीक है, lending will happen on repo rate. ठीक है, so repo rate पे ही यहाँ पे लोन दिया है. In TLTRO, RBI provide 1 year to 3 year term loan to commercial bank at the prevailing repo rate. This is 100% true, right? In TLTRO, RBI purchase government securities from commercial bank at discount. No. TLTRO, RBI provide short term. No. ठीक है, तो क्या होगा करेक्ट आंसर आपका? ऑप्शन 2 will be right answer for this particular one. ठीक है, so infuse liquidity into the banking system. Under TLTRO, RBI provide 1 year to 3 years loan commercial bank at repo rate. These operations are intended to prevent any potential liquidity crisis in banking system and ensure that bank have long term stable funds, ठीक है. It does not involve purchasing and this, ठीक है. Next one, which of the following statement is incorrect about RBI retail direct scheme, ठीक है. Incorrect statement, ठीक है. I hope you heard about this one, RDS, RBI retail direct scheme. So इसके through you can, like being an individual, so we can directly invest in गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज, ठीक है. तो पहले आपका क्या होता था, लाइक आरबीआई टू कमर्शियल बैंक, देन आपका रिटेल पार्टिसिपेशन. तो उसकी वजह से रिटेल पार्टिसिपेशन वाज वेरी लीस्ट, कम होता है तो लिक्विडिटी क्या होगी, कम होगी, ठीक है. सो इसके लिए, या जो आपका रिटेल पार्टिसिपेशन है उसको बढ़ाने के लिए, व्हाट आरबीआई डिड, दे कम अप विद दिस पर्टिकुलर प्लेटफॉर्म दैट इज नोन एज आरबीआई रिटेल डायरेक्ट स्कीम, ठीक है, जिसमें you can open an online account with RBI and you can directly purchase securities or you can sell securities, ठीक है. So sell security. RDS was introduced by RBI to facilitate investment in government securities by retail investor. 100% true. RDS allow retail investor to open and maintain a retail direct gilt accounts. Gilt mean government securities account with RBI. Again true. RDS does not offer facility for online registration. No, it does offer, right? So ये जो आपका रिटेल डायरेक्ट गिल्ट अकाउंट है, इट इज ओनली ऑनलाइन अकाउंट इटसेल्फ, राइट. आपको इसके लिए आरबीआई का ब्रांच जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. आर रिटेल डायरेक्ट स्कीम परमिट बोथ प्राइमरी एंड सेकेंडरी मार्केट ट्रांजेक्शन. दिस इज ऑल्सो ट्रू, ठीक है. तो द ओनली स्टेटमेंट इनकरेक्ट इज ऑप्शन 3. सो ऑप्शन 2 विल बी करेक्ट आंसर फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन, ठीक है. सो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट, अगेन प्लीज ध्यान रखिएगा, ठीक है. So, the retail direct scheme was introduced by RBI to facilitate investment in government securities by retail investor. The RDS does not offer a facility for online registration. This is wrong. A retail investor can register online and open an account through an online portal provided by the RBI itself. Next one. Which of the following statement is incorrect in the context of type of capital issues in the primary market here? So primary market, which is generally known for listing or introduction of new securities. To list or to introduce new securities, we have different like process, like IPO, initial public offering, FPO, further public offering, NFO, new fund offer, right? So these are the tools. So IPO refers to the process of companies selling its share to the public for the first time. This is true. Okay. A right issue means offering shares to existing shareholders in proportion to their holding of current shares. This is also true, right? In preferential issue, shares are issued to a general public. No, this is wrong. Preferential issue is always limited to close group of investors. ठीक है. तो पहला incorrect statement है ये. A follow-on public offer FPO is when an already listed company make either a fresh issue of securities to the public or an offer for sale. This is also true. So क्या होगा आपका, हमें क्या ढूंढना था, incorrect statement. So only incorrect statement is this option 3. That means option 1 will be correct answer for this particular question. Very nice question, right? Next one. Which of the following statement about SBA application supported by blocked amount is correct? Okay. So last year there was a question based on SBA application itself. Okay. So SBA allow investor to apply for IPO or right issue without any investment. Okay. मतलब your fund will not get transferred to the issuing company. ठीक है. SBA allow investor to sorry, क्या है, SBA in issue without, this is wrong, sorry, ठीक है. So you need to transfer funds, that amount will be blocked in your trading accounts, ठीक है, और उस पर आपको इंटरेस्ट भी मिलता है, ठीक है. So this is wrong, sorry. SBA allow investor to continue earning interest on the application money even after the bid for an IPO or right issue made. This is true. Yeah. SBA allow investor to withdraw the blocked amount at the time before the allotments process. No. That amount got freeze for a time duration, yeah, or till the time of settlements. SBA only benefit the company issuing the IPO or right issue, but not to the investor. No, it is a win-win situation for both, right? So SBA application got introduced in by the SEBI ASBA application supported by blocked amount. It was introduced by SEBI in 2010. ठीक है. यहाँ पे जनरली क्या होता है, like being an IPO investor, when once you'll invest, let's say as a retail investor, we invested 2 lakh rupees in some XYZ company's IPO. So that 2 lakh rupees amount will got freeze in your trading account, and you will earn interest on that particular one till the time of settlement. Now, during settlement, if you receive share, okay, during the allotment, if you got the share, so that money will get transferred to XYZ company's account and you will get share at the time of settlement. Settlement क्या होता है? जहाँ पे आपको सिक्योरिटी मिलेगी और कंपनी को पैसा मिलेगा. बट सेटलमेंट तक आपका, लाइक लेट्स से इट्स अ 7 days प्रोसेस नाउ डेज. अर्लियर इट वाज अराउंड 30 days 45 days, बट अभी वो बहुत कम हो गया. ठीक है, तो उस दौरान आपका इंटरेस्ट विल बी कैलकुलेटेड. ठीक है, जो भी आपका इन्वेस्टर हो उसको इंटरेस्ट मिलेगा. ठीक है, सो ओनली करेक्ट स्टेटमेंट इज ऑप्शन 2. करेक्ट है. ठीक है, चलो. सो एसबा is a facility allow investor to bid for an IPO issue without having this is incorrect because you have to invest some money. ठीक है, allotment money जो भी आपका होगा. ठीक है, ये आपका गलत था. ठीक है, the application money say stay in the investor account and continue to earn interest as per the account until the allotment of security. This feature make SBA beneficial for investors. ठीक है, next one, match the following correctly. ठीक है, so we have options, we have forward, we have future, we have swap. ठीक है, so derivatives के ऊपर हमने एक काफी लंबा सेशन किया था, more than an hour. ठीक है, so 1 घंटे से ऊपर का सेशन आपका था. So now if you talk about derivatives, okay, so if you talk about this type of derivatives, so there are 4 type of derivatives. ऑप्शन, फॉरवर्ड, फ्यूचर एंड स्वैप. ठीक है, 4 प्रकार के डेरिवेटिव्स आपके होते हैं. ठीक है, सो आई होप एवरीबडी नोज अबाउट दिस. क्वेश्चन बहुत बेसिक है, सिर्फ इंट्रोडक्शन है. ठीक है, हमने काफी डिटेल में इनको आपका पढ़ा हुआ है. ठीक है, सो अ डेरिवेटिव कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दैट गिव द बायर द राइट बट नॉट एन ऑब्लिगेशन टू बाय और सेल एन अंडरलाइंग एसेट at a specific price before the certain date. So this is about option. ये क्या है आपका? This definition belongs to options. ठीक है, contract that obligate buyer to purchase and seller to sell an asset at a set price and date in future. So this could be forward or future. ठीक है, अभी हम इस पे नहीं जाएंगे. Contract that traded on exchange and are standardized in term of quantity quality. So this is for 100%. It is what? Future. ठीक है, future are exchange traded contract. ठीक है, derivative contract through which two parties exchange financial instrument, typically interest rate or currency. So it is known as swap. ठीक है, इसको हम क्या बोलते हैं आपका? swap. तो ये क्या हो जाएगा आपका? फॉरवर्ड हो जाएगा. ठीक है, सो दिस इज द डेफिनेशन व्हिच इज रिलेटेड टू फॉरवर्ड. ठीक है, तो अब आप मैच कर लीजिए. सो फर्स्ट ऑप्शन बिल्कुल सही, दूसरा फॉरवर्ड, तीसरा फ्यूचर एंड चौथा आपका स्वैप. तो सारे ही आपका करेक्टली अरेंज है. पहले का पहला, पहले दूसरा BC. तो क्या होगा आपका करेक्ट आंसर? ऑप्शन 1 विल बी राइट आंसर फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर क्वेश्चन. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट वन. Lease finance is a method of financing where a company can acquire the use of certain fixed asset for which it must pay a series of contractual periodic tax deductible payments. The lease is the lessee is the receiver of the service or the asset under the lease contract, and the lessor is owner of the asset. Okay? This type of lease finance where the ownership of asset remain with the lessor while the lessee get the right to use the for a specific period. So it is what type of lease? क्या होगा आपका? It is operating lease. ठीक है, so in case of operating lease is basically short term in nature. Maintenance is generally done by lessor, and lessee use that particular asset for a specific time duration. In return, they have to pay the monthly payments to the lessor, right? तो ये सिंपल सा केस है आपका. ठीक है, ऑपरेटिंग लीज. फाइनेंस लीज में क्या होता है आपका? फाइनेंस लीज में that is long term in nature, non cancelable. ठीक है, and lessee has the right to purchase that asset at the end of the lease period. ठीक है, तो ये इन दोनों में आपका डिफरेंस क्रिएट करता है. लीज टेन्योर इज कितने समय के लिए वो आपका एग्रीमेंट हुआ है. ठीक है, जैसे हम किसी के घर पे रेंट पे रह रहे हैं फॉर 11 मंथ, सो दैट इज अ लीज टेन्योर. 11 मंथ इज टेन्योर, राइट? एंड जिसका वो घर है वो लेसर है और हम क्या है? लेसी है. ठीक है, match the following again. So we have operating lease, we have finance lease, we have sale and leaseback, and we have डायरेक्ट लीज। ठीक है, तो हमने लीज को काफी डिटेल में आपका डिस्कस किया होगा। ठीक है, सो द लेसर पास द ओनरशिप राइट ऑफ द एसेट टू लेसी बाय द एंड ऑफ द लीज टर्म, सो इट इज फाइनेंस लीज। ठीक है, the lessor only rent the asset for a period much shorter than the asset's life, so it is operating lease. The lessee sell an asset to lessor and then lease it back. ठीक है, तो ये क्या हो गया आपका सेल एंड लीज बैक। ठीक है, इसके अलावा द लेसर बाय अ न्यू एसेट एंड लीज इट आउट, तो ये आपका इट इज अ केस ऑफ डायरेक्ट लीज। ठीक है, तो अब पहला फाइनेंस लीज, पहले का बी मतलब। ठीक है, दूसरा आपका फाइनेंस लीज में ये आपका ए हो जाएगा। ठीक है, तो पहले का बी, दूसरे का ए, तीसरे का सी, चौथे का डी। ठीक है, तो पहले का बी, दूसरे का ए, तीसरे का सी, चौथे का डी। सो ऑप्शन 1 विल बी करेक्ट आंसर फॉर दिस। अगेन वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक गाइस, और अच्छे से इसको पढ़ लीजिए, बहुत काम आएगा आगे सीआईबी के अंदर भी। ठीक है, काफी डिटेल में हमने इसके ऊपर फंडामेंटल वीडियो किया है, उसको देखें, उसको पढ़ें, समझें। कोई डाउट आता तो आप वो जरूर शेयर करें। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट वन, which of the following statement is incorrect in the context of supervision of mutual funds in India? Supervision, who regulate mutual fund in India? It is SEBI. They get regulated by SEBI. So Securities and Exchange Board of India is the regulatory body for mutual fund in India. True. Mutual fund in India must follow the guidelines. No. The Association of Mutual Fund, which is known as MFI, is an industry standard organization in India that help the boosting in the mutual fund sector. True, this is also true. जैसे for bank we have IBA, ठीक है, Indian Bank Association. For forex market we have Foreign Exchange Dealers Association of India. Similarly for mutual fund growth we have MFI, right? The sponsor of mutual fund must contribute at least 40% of net worth of AMC. अब देखो, अगर आप इसको 2020 से 21 से पहले पढ़ रहे होते तो ये सही होता, बट नाउ आपका इसको सेबी ने अभी रिड्यूस कर दिया कितने पे, 10% पे। ठीक है, सो अर्लियर इट वाज 40% बट नाउ इट इज 10%, सो दैट्स व्हाई इट इज आल्सो इनकरेक्ट। हमें इनकरेक्ट ढूंढना है, तो दिस इज इनकरेक्ट, दिस इज इनकरेक्ट, दूसरा और चौथा ओनली। ठीक है, सो दूसरा और चौथा ओनली मीन्स ऑप्शन 3 विल बी करेक्ट आंसर फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर वन, राइट? क्लियर है? वो चौथे पॉइंट को एक बार डिस्कस कर लेते हैं। ठीक है, so as per SEBI regulation, the sponsor of mutual fund must contribute at least 40% or to the net worth of the asset management company. This, however, an amendment in 2021 has reduced this limit to 10%. So earlier it was 50%, but now it is only 10%. Next one, insurance products are based on a set of fundamental principles that guide their design and operations. These principles include insurable interest, utmost of good faith, indemnity, contribution, and subrogation. One of these principles detect that the insured must have a legitimate interest in the preservation of life or property insured. Okay, the insured must stand to suffer or loss if the life or property is damaged or lost. The principle which state that insured must stand to suffer a loss from the damage or loss insured life property. So it is known as, so what it is known as, it is called आपका इंडेमिनिटी। ठीक है, सो इंडेमिनिटी विल बी राइट आंसर फॉर दिस। नहीं सॉरी, इट इज मतलब इसका मतलब है कि लाइक जैसे हमने कोई कार इंश्योरेंस लिया, अगर वो कभी एक्सीडेंट होता है तो वी शुड ऑलवेज एफर्ट की दैट लॉस शुड बी मिनिमाइज। ठीक है, तो आपका क्या होगा, आपका ऑप्शन 2 विल बी राइट आंसर। सो प्रिंसिपल ऑफ इंश्योरेबल इंटरेस्ट, आपका द रूल दैट पर्सन कैन नॉट इंश्योर समथिंग अनलेस he or she stand to suffer loss or derive a benefits from the preservation stream. Principle of indemnity refers to the rule that an insured party cannot profit from insurance but is to be a return of the same financial position. ठीक है, तो सिंपल आपका कि as it is आपका उस कंडीशन में लाने के लिए। ठीक है, so insurance is never a profit making things, it is a damage covering things, right? Principle of contribution is like principle of contribution is like जैसे एक सोसाइटी में 100 कार्स हैं, हर साल 10 कार का एक्सीडेंट हो रहा है, सो ऑल 100 आर मेकिंग कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन, जिन 10 का नुकसान हो रहा है उनके साथ शेयरिंग. It is colloquially of the principle of indemnity and applies to all contract of indemnity if the insured has taken out more than one policy on same subject matter. Principle of subrogation refer to the right of the insurer to step into the shoe of the insured after settlement of the claim to recover from third parties responsible for losses. It is again a corollary of the principle of indemnity. ठीक है, तो हमारा जो आंसर था प्रिंसिपल ऑफ इंश्योरेबल इंटरेस्ट. ओके ठीक है. ठीक है, चलो नेक्स्ट वन. Match the following correctly again. So credit card services, asset management, safe deposit lockers and custodial services. ये तो मतलब आप डेली बेसिस पर डील करते रहे. So provided provide the safety of valuable item. तो आपका क्या हो गया? सेफ डिपॉजिट लॉकर आपका मीन्स थर्ड का ए हो जाएगा. ठीक है. मैनेजमेंट ऑफ कस्टमर सिक्योरिटीज, तो ये आपका क्या होगा? मैनेजमेंट ऑफ कस्टमर सिक्योरिटी, कस्टोडियन सर्विसेज हो जाएंगे बी. ठीक है. लाइन ऑफ क्रेडिट प्रोवाइडेड बाय बैंक टू इट्स कस्टमर्स, तो इट इज आपका पहले का सी, क्रेडिट कार्ड. मैनेज सेल एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूट एसेट, सो इट इज एएमसी, दैट मीन्स आपका डी. तो अब अगर हम इसको मैच करते हैं तो सी डी ए बी, सी डी ए बी, दैट मीन्स option 1 only is the right answer for this particular question. Again, very simple one, right? Next one. What are the key rationale behind the setup of INBIT? So it is related to your आपका प्रॉपर्टीज इन्वेस्टमेंट. ठीक है. सो जैसे हमारे पास रीट्स है वैसे ही आपका INBIT, राइट? ठीक है. So the to enable individual investor to invest in real estate and infrastructure project without directly owning the property, 100% true. To offer high net worth individual a platform to lend money to developers and earning. It is not for high net worth. अगर उनको तो directly they can purchase the property ना. To offer a platform for developers to list their project, no. To create a new form of investment opportunity that's outperform traditional investment avenue like mutual fund and others. Similar but most appropriate is option A. ठीक है, हमें क्या ढूंढना था? ओके हाँ, so option A will be the right answer for this particular one. ठीक है. So infrastructure investment trust का basically you are buying unit, you are not buying the property but you are buying INBIT or REITs unit. ठीक है. So indirectly you are investing in that. जैसे जैसे property का, जैसे let's say at the time of construction per square feet was 1000 and when they hand over those particular building or sell those particular building, suppose that 1500 per square feet was the price, so there is an increment of 500. ठीक है. So इस तरीके से जो आपका काम करेगा. Next one. So quickly go through this particular one, guys. Okay, so next question is the money supply is entire stock of currency and other liquid instruments circulating in the country's economy as the particular time. It is typically indicate cash, coin, this. Central bank serve the method of controlled money supply, such as through the monetary policy tools, open market operations, changes in reserve requirement, changes in interest rate. This tool where the central bank purchase or sell government's bonds in the open market to regulate money supply. So it is known as OMO, ओपन मार्केट ऑपरेशन. ठीक है. क्या होता है आपका ओपन मार्केट ऑपरेशन को कभी भी अगर आप पढ़ते हैं तो इट इज सिंपल लाइक बाइंग एंड सेलिंग ऑफ गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज थ्रू आरबीआई, दैट इज नोन एज ओपन मार्केट ऑपरेशन, ठीक है। आपका रिजर्व रेशियो एडजस्टमेंट, ठीक है, तो इट कैन बी विद लाइक इंक्रीज एंड डिक्रीज इन सीआरआर एसएलआर, डिस्काउंट रेट एडजस्टमेंट रिजर्व आपका, ठीक है, क्वांटिटेटिव ईजिंग आपका टू इंक्रीज द मनी सप्लाई इन द इकोनॉमी इटसेल्फ, राइट। सो दीज वर सम areas. So I hope this is clear to all of you, right? So again, one another set with the question around 20 questions, which we generally gone through in this particular unit, right? So I hope you enjoy this. You guys are enjoying these kind of practices. And if you have some feedback, please do share those particular feedback also, right? And if you need any other help toward your examination, so just feel free to connect us. So this is our Telegram group at the rate at the rate JIB CIB Prep official, or you can scan this particular QR code. So you can send us your queries as well, right? So guys, now as you know, like very few days are remaining. um, थोड़ा सा पुश करें लास्ट के 1 वीक के अंदर, एंड डू नॉट स्किप फाउंडेशन वीडियोस, ठीक है। मैं हमेशा आपको ये चीज बोलता हूँ विद एवरी वीडियो, राइट। रीजन ये है कि ये एक ऐसा पेपर है, अगर उसने अप्लाइड में मोस्ट ऑफ टाइम अप्लाइड होता है, ठीक है, 60% अराउंड, तो वो चीज को करने के लिए ना यू हैव टू हैव गो थ्रू द फंडामेंटल्स कॉन्सेप्ट पार्ट, राइट। तो वो आपका बिल्कुल भी स्किप नहीं करना है, अच्छे से उसको पढ़िए, समझिए। अगर कोई हेल्प की रिक्वायरमेंट है तो अभी भी हमारे पास टाइम है, सो यू कैन अप्रोच अस, ठीक है। विल ट्राई आवर बेस्ट, राइट। तो आपको जिस भी एंगल पर हम लोग हेल्प कर पाए, ठीक है। सो आज के लिए इतना ही करते हैं। नाउ आई विल सी यू अगेन विद अनदर सेट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस, ठीक है। एंड मॉड्यूल ए, sorry, module C and D combined marathon, like there are two sessions, must go for those particular two sessions जहाँ पे मैंने बेसिकली यूनिट वाइज कवरिंग करने का कोशिश किया है, ठीक है। अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, दिशा मैम इज गोइंग टू कंडक्ट वन सेशन ऑन दिस संडे, ठीक है, तो उसमें भी आपको चीज़ें मिल जाएंगी बहुत सारी, ठीक है, मॉड्यूल ए के ऊपर आपका। सिमिलरली फॉर मॉड्यूल बी, देन विल स्टार्ट मॉड्यूल वाइज मैराथन और मिक्स लाइक फुल लेंथ मॉक टेस्ट एंड अदर्स, तो वो थोड़ा सा आपको एग्जाम रेडी बनाएंगे। बट इन सबसे पहले यू हैव टू हैव गो थ्रू द कॉन्सेप्ट क्लासेस, एंड कॉन्सेप्ट क्लासेस आर ऑलमोस्ट डन, ठीक है। मॉड्यूल डी देर आर ओनली 3 यूनिट्स आर रिमेनिंग, इन मॉड्यूल बी देर आर ओनली अगेन 3 यूनिट्स आर रिमेनिंग, ठीक है। तो दोनों को आप एक बार मतलब अभी जितना है उसको कवर अप कर लीजिए, देन विल प्रोवाइड योर कंपाइलेशन ऑल्सो, तो उसको भी आप लोग देख सकते हैं, ठीक है। So I hope you enjoy this session. Do share your feedback and do share this particular video with your friends also, so they can also take advantages of these particular classes. तो आज के लिए इतना ही करेंगे. This is it from my side. Thank you for joining this session. Bye bye. Take care all. Have a nice day. Thank you.